All right, so as you heard, I'm Mike Souza. I'm the CEO at Landmark Medical Center. We're very happy to be here at this event, to be the transformational sponsor. Even though she called me the ally, I think that's a different. Right?
No, you personally.
But I'm just an ally.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I get it. Sort of. And yes, I will be Dancing with the Stars on Friday night. 7 weeks ago, I had never danced ever in my life. So if you're going to Dancing with the Stars Friday night, give me a little leeway.
Yeah, show us your
It's supposed to be a surprise. You have to come Friday night if you want to see. Or as they told me, it's going to live on YouTube forever. I was not frightened at all. So again, if you don't know Landmark, we're in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, acute care hospital, kind of do the full gamut, emergency room, cardiac, cancer, maternity. If you haven't been there in a very long time, encourage you to come visit us. I think you'll have a great experience. I would say just a few things about us. One, we're very busy, sometimes too busy, as I look at Alicia, one of our coaches tonight in our emergency room. We do very well financially. I won't say that because I don't think there's a lot of political people in the room, right? But we do very well financially. We are a teaching hospital now as of 2021. So again, quality-wise, a score of an A from the different organizations. So we've done some great things there. I got a lot of my great team members here today from Landmark at various tables. So we are, again, like I mentioned, the transformational leader, transformational sponsor, I guess a transformational leader. Transformational sponsor, again, I think it's great. It's a great organization. They do great things, have great events. An event that actually is, I don't want to say anything bad about other events I go to, but some other events can be a little boring. I might go to like 3 or 4 a week, it feels like. It's usually one person talking that you never want to hear them talk. And you sit there, you have some really awful meal, and then you leave. And then the next night you go to the same damn thing all over again. So coming here and actually be able to interact with people is nice and learn things about individuals, make some friends, is all great. So happy to be here. And with that, I'll do the introduction of our keynote today, who is Kim Fuller. I'll tell you a little bit about Kim. Or actually, I'm going to tell you a lot about Kim, so bear with me. If you didn't notice, I grew up and I still live in the New Bedford area. So Portuguese was my primary language. I kind of still learning English as I go on. Kim Fuller is a mindful photographer, spiritual, and story coach. 2-time award-winning author, TEDx speaker, and founder of Born to Rise, a community and space for women to share their transformational stories and awaken to the greatest possibility for themselves. Her passion is to help women shine in their power, their story, and their beauty so they can live a confident and joyful life. Kim leads Art of the Pause workshops and story exchanges with women's groups, nonprofits, organizations, and at conferences. She has been a keynote speaker and workshop facilitator for Chubb Insurance, Bank Newport, Bryant Women's Summit, the United Way, IGT, Adidas, Day One, and many other organizations. She has been a guest on several podcasts, radio shows, and television spots, speaking about mindfulness and the power of storytelling. Some fun facts about Kim. She shook the hand of the Dalai Lama, and it changed her life. She lived on a 36-foot sailboat with her 2 sisters and parents for a year and a half. I already admire you just with that, because even though I said I live in New Bedford near the water, as long as I can just see it and it doesn't ever touch me, or I don't on it, we're good with each other. So you learn something new about me. So I drink water, that's about it. She is a mother of 3 children, one of whom is adopted and is her greatest spiritual teacher. Her book, Finding, tells the story of her journey with this young boy and the Dalai Lama. One of Kim's greatest gifts is she is a great hugger. She wants me to mention she will be open for hugs at her table afterwards, or wherever you may find her throughout this event. Thank you so much. And with that, let's welcome Kimberly.
So we're going to have a little fun because I don't want him to go home and say he went to one of those boring events and heard someone speak that he never wants to hear from again. I want you to imagine and think about a camera. A camera has many parts to the fact that it is a body, and metaphorically we have a body, just like a camera. We have a lens, the eyes that we look through onto the world. And then we also have the choice to when we're going to click the shutter button and take in whatever it is we're seeing. So as a photographer, I've been able to play with this idea of how important the camera has become as that metaphor for my own life. My body, can it be this objective observer that a camera is? A camera is the only thing or only part of that experience that is objective and takes in only what it sees or what it's pointed at. The lenses either give us a broad perspective if we have our wide-angle lens on, and we can see our environments, our relationships to people, and the things in the frame in relationship to all of the things that are also with it in that frame. If we have on a zoom lens, I don't know about you, but you ever notice if you have a zoom lens on and you focus in so tightly on your problem of the day, it's like you've blown that print up to be the size of your wall and that's all you see. So sometimes having a zoom lens on might need that broad perspective. And then there's, behind all of it, the choice to click the shutter button and take in whatever it is we're seeing and hold it in our mind's eye, in the print, or in our hearts. So I want to take you all on a little journey to experience what it's like being a photographer, using an objective observer thing like a camera, and play with this a little bit. So if you're willing, we're going to go on a little journey together, because I love stories, but you get to create your own right now. So if you're willing to sit up nice and tall and have your feet on the floor, I want to guide you on an imaginary journey. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, just remember that everyone else is closing their eyes too, so nobody can see what your inner eyelids look like. Just feel yourself in your body. Feeling the weight of the body in the chair, your feet on the floor, and the sensation of your legs touching the seat. Notice the energy in your body, whether it's a little heightened from just walking around talking to people. But what I'm going to invite you to do is empty out the body and become this very present observer. So whatever stresses, whatever doubts, fears, concerns you may be having right now, with your next inhale and exhale, you're going to imagine that it's floating in that body you have with all the water that's inside that body. And you're going to drain it out and carry out all of those things that no longer serve you. So on your exhale, just imagine the body emptying, emptying, emptying. And you take all of those worries and doubts and concerns and let them drain into this imaginary black bag at your feet. Because you don't want to get rid of all those things. There's something to look at later, but right now, just put them in the bag and imagine just sliding it under the table for a minute and sit with this sense that you've emptied yourself out. What is left? Your awareness. And so what I would love to invite you to do is, I'm going to take you on an assignment to be a photographer who's in search of the most beautiful image, the most beautiful light you can find. So you put your camera around your neck in this state of presence. And you imagine yourself on a path, whatever that is for you. It could be the beach, the woods, some gravel or dirt. What does that path look like that you're standing on right now? And you begin to go out and look for this beautiful light, this beautiful image. you're walking along, you come across this big mud puddle, this ooey, gooey, sticky mud puddle that is blocking your entire way. So you put on your wide-angle lens, the lens that allows you to look for possibility. How can I get through this puddle? I've got to get to my destination of this beautiful image. With possibility, there's creativity. You get curious. How do you get across that puddle? For me, I find some big stones on the side, and I put them in the puddle, and it makes a bridge for me to take one step at a time. So if you've been able to imagine yourself on the other side of that puddle, you continue walking along. But before you do, you want to take a picture of that puddle because it was something that you learned. You learned that by being present and curious and creative, you can get through a sticky mud puddle. And then you move along. And what comes across your path next is this giant bear that comes out of nowhere. And it's up on its hind feet, and you can feel its energy. It is angry. What do I do? Oh my gosh, I have to get by this bear. What does that bear represent for you? That angry energy could be a person that challenges you. But in this moment, this bear has got its hair up on its end, its eyes are bulging, and it's looking right at you. I stand in my power pose. I look right at the bear, and I decide just to hold space. I don't get angry, and then it has nothing to push against. But I listen. And as I do that, the bear starts to calm down. And it goes back down on all fours, and it looks up at me and says, "Thank you. My bear cubs were just being awful this morning, and I needed a little vent session. Thank you for holding that space for me." And I take a picture of the bear. I want to remember this moment where I stayed calm and present, even when all this heightened energy was around me. And the bear goes off. And I continue on my way, and I can feel myself getting closer to my beautiful image, that light. I can almost see it in the distance. And I'm walking along very peacefully, and of course, the next obstacle comes, and it is the biggest one yet. I have come across a wall that is so high and so broad, and I've got the wide-angle lens on. I can see it from side to side, and I can't see the ends. And I look up, I look down, I look back up again, and I see at the very tippy top, someone looking down at me. Who do you see? At first I think my person is laughing at me because they've made it to the top before me. But as I look up, I can hear and see that it's a friend, and they're yelling down to me, "You've got this." Who's that for you? Who are you seeing? My person yells down to me, "Use your greatest strengths to get over the wall." What are my greatest strengths? But I know that one of them is I love to knit, and I'm a really good knitter. So I ask her to throw down some knitting needles and balls of yarn, and I start weaving this most beautiful net with nice tight knots and beautiful colors, and I throw the net up to her when it's done, and I begin to climb. And she cheers me on as I'm climbing up, and she gives me a big hug when I get to the top. But when I get there, my expectation is very different than what I'm seeing. I don't see any big bright light or beautiful image. But this person who helped me wheels over a mirror, and I stand in front of it. And I am shining. I am the light. I am beaming. Can you see that for yourself? Are you beaming? You've overcome the sticky, stuck places, the angry, chaotic energy, and this massive obstacle of a wall that seemed to be your barrier to your next step. But you are beaming, and so you're surely going to take a picture of that and blow it up to be life-size and put that on your wall. And look at that every day to remind yourself that you have the possibility to be curious, to move your perspective around and see what you want to include in your frame of life. And that you have the ability to be present and choose where to place your attention. And so you blow that print up and you look at that and you take the prints of all the other things that you overcame, because those are lessons you don't want to forget, and you hang those on the wall. Now, as you still have your eyes closed, just tune into your body and imagine it beaming this beautiful inner light, the most beautiful self-image you can imagine, that's not holding on to all that stuff that's in the bag at your feet. Imagine picking that bag up right now and how heavy it would feel. You can look at all the things in the bag. You can observe them and take care of them, but they don't need to dominate the feelings, the emotions, the actions that take place in your body. So I invite you to take a nice, deep, big inhale and exhale. As you slowly open your eyes, just take in the beautiful people around you. And just imagine that you can be like a camera every day. Be an objective, present observer of life and choose the lenses that you're going to look through. Whether you need to have that broad perspective or zoom in a little tighter and examine something that's going on. And being creative and resourceful and playful as you get through stuck places. And holding your ground when someone comes at you with heightened energy. And that you can climb walls. It may take a unique approach, like knitting a net. Or whatever your strengths might have been. But with the help of a mentor or a friend or a colleague, you can get there. And you are the only one who gets to choose when to click the shutter button and take all that in for yourself. So where are you going to place your attention? What will you keep in the frame? And when will you choose to click the shutter button? Thank you so much. I came here last year because my friend Katie was speaking and I had no idea what the Women's Fund was, and I was just in awe. So thank you. I've become friendly with Deb Honor. I love you so much. Kelly, thank you for this work you're doing and for supporting women in business and in the workforce. I met some incredible people today, so I'm just honored, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Patrice. You've been amazing.
Fun fact, I met Kim during COVID. She was one of the amazing people getting people together to have community, right? And to share your story. And she allowed me to share my story in a parking lot surrounded by a bunch of cars that decorated their trunks. Great.
One of my first storytellers.
It was amazing. Thank you. May our lenses always be clean.
Yes. Clean that lens.
Yes, as a photographer, it's important. My husband's a photographer, that's how I know the lingo.